Herculez Gomez, we are just about 15 months from the next World Cup in Qatar. So what better time than to take a speculative effort at what Gregg Berhalter's 23-man roster will be for the next World Cup. Now, we should note, we don't even know if it'll be 23 players, right? In this current situation, it's probably a good chance it'll be more like 25 or 26, what we saw for the last list of call-ups. But we'll narrow it down to 23, Herc, for argument's sake, and because 23 is what we've taken to World Cups in the past. So you were so busy today, you didn't even have time to pick your 23. I did. I have nothing better to do in my life than to just try and take a stab at the 23. So let's take a look at it then. We'll start with the goalies. I don't think many surprises there. I'm going Horvath, Turner, and Steffen. In defenders, I go Cannon, Yedlin, Serginho Dest, Anthony Robinson, John Brooks, Miles Robinson, Chris Richards, and Brian Reynolds. In midfield, Tyler Adams, Leggett, Acosta, Roldan, McKennie, and Yunus Musa slid him in there as well. Forward, Sargent, Pulisic, Aronson, Pepe, Reyna, and Hoppy. I don't know if you can tell, Herc, here. I went for a very, very young team. Some of the, I think, notable omissions that people might scream and yell about: no Walker Zimmerman, no Tim Ream, no Daryl Dike, and no Jordan Pefok. Again, when you only give me 23 spots, I got to make some tough choices, Herc. What's your initial takeaway?
My initial takeaway is you're right about the goalkeepers. I don't think anybody's moving those goalkeepers. You have a lot of right backs. You've got Cannon, Yedlin, Serginho Dest. You've got Reynolds. That's a lot of right backs. I don't think Reynolds is going to make it. I do think, knowing Gregg Berhalter, if Tim Ream is fit enough, he will make it, knowing Gregg Berhalter. He loves his left-footed center backs. He loves that opportunity of playing three center backs and maybe rotating them, so that's a possibility there. Also, Aaron Long is coming back from his Achilles injury. If he's anywhere near the health and play he was before that injury, I think he'll be on this list. Walker Zimmerman may miss out. He's a very good player, multi-year Defender of the Year candidate in Major League Soccer. Daryl Dike is an interesting one, but so is Gyasi Zardes. I think you're forgetting just how important some of these players are to Gregg Berhalter. I'm talking about Gyasi Zardes. I'm talking about Tim Ream. These players that he loves to have around. Gyasi Zardes is a very productive forward, productive for Gregg Berhalter. I think Gregg Berhalter will find something for him. And in the rest, I mean, you're leaving out players like Konrad de la Fuente, Tim Weah, players that could potentially, in these next 15 months, do something of note. And here's the thing that people must realize. We could throw out 40 different names. The reality is there's always one or two names that come out of nowhere. Your DeAndre Yedlins, your Robbie Finleys, your Edson Buttles, your Herculez Gomez that have no business being there. They get there and then they make a name for themselves. They're there. It's about timing. It's about a hot hand. It's about having informed players when you get to this tournament. And also remembering, you put a very young lineup in there, remembering it's also a young man's game when it comes to the World Cup. You see these teams that potentially go far, have a good mixture of youth and what is veteran presence. So yeah, it will be important to get these younger players acclimated as quickly as possible because they could be integral parts in the World Cup.
So you mentioned Gyasi Zardes. Go ahead and take a look at the forwards that I've put up there, and specifically the number 9s, who are Pepe, Sargent, and I think we can count Matthew Hoppy as potentially an option at number 9. You would have 3 9s there, 3 9 options there in that group. Who of that group would you take out for Gyasi Zardes?
So before I answer this, you're trying to tell me off the limited body of work, Ricardo Pepi already has a World Cup spot guaranteed. Matthew Hoppy already has a World Cup spot guaranteed. Josh Sargent, who's not been scoring of late for the national team.
Answer the question. Who are you taking out?
Who would I take out? If I am, because it's not me, I told you, it's Gregg Berhalter who has a penchant for this. Gregg Berhalter would take out Hoppy. He would take out Matthew Hoppy.
Wow.
Yeah,
versatile Matthew Hoppy, who's playing in La Liga with Mallorca, is gonna get left out after he just did an interview here on Futbol Americas for Gyasi Zardes. That's
not
what
my
you're
call.
telling me.
It's Gregg Berhalter.
Unbelievable. A couple other names that you mentioned. Weah and Konrad, right, who kind of fit that attacking winger spot. So then, I mean, look at the attacking wingers that I've thrown in there. Reyna, Aronson, Pulisic. Are you taking one of those guys out, or are you trimming one of my defenders to make the space for either a Tim Weah or a Konrad
for sure.
Fuente?
I'm trimming. Yeah, Brian Reynolds, you're out, my friend. He gone.
Do you think I went too defensive heavy? I think I went 8, 6, and 6. So I went 8 defenders, 6 midfielders, 6 forwards. How many forwards did they take when you went in 2010?
4 pure forwards. Pure
Right.
forwards.
4 nines. Right.
Yeah. It was Josie Alter, Robbie Finley, it was Edson Buttle, and it was Yo Man. So 4 very distinct forwards, different times, mind you. But Gregg Berhalter has shown us he's got a penchant for changing things up, one roster to the next, one game to the next, and he loves that 3-man back system. So I would not discount for him a Tim Ream, for him those type of players that are multifunctional.
All right, so let me ask you one last question, because you posed it already. You said that there's always a player who comes out of nowhere. Throw a name out there, or a couple names that you think that player could be.
Caden Clark. Caden Clark's my player that can come out of nowhere. I love the way he plays. I love how direct he is, how technical he is, how goal dangerous. I just think it's about getting him in the right system, getting him surrounded by the right players, and I think he could be effective. There's always one player that comes out of nowhere. Caden Clark can be that player for you. And I'm not discounting Daryl Dike. Daryl Dike did not have a good Gold Cup. Daryl Dike was injured at this Gold Cup. He went on a drought, but he's also attracting some serious interest. Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira, they don't take a look at you if you're not a player that could be of worth to them. And if you're of worth to a team in the Premier League, if you're of worth there, I think you could be of worth with the national team. So by no means is he out of the picture.
Well, there you have it. Our best guess at the 23, some 15 months out from the 2022 World Cup in Qatar.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.